All right, so in the first two parts of this explainer, we laid out how warfare is getting faster and faster, all driven by AI that can process and plan at unbelievable speeds. But really, all of that was building to one single critical question we absolutely have to face now. This is where it all comes together. This is it. This is the central question, the one everything has been leading up to. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the reality we are walking right into. When that whole cycle of warfare, from spotting a threat to actually doing something about it, shrinks from days or hours down to just seconds, well, that pushes the human mind way past its breaking point. So if things are moving that fast, what does that actually mean for us? What happens to strategy, to ethics, to our very sense of control when the battlefield is moving quicker than our ability to comprehend it? This is where the technology kind of takes a back seat and the really tough human questions come front and center. Okay, so the first big set of challenges really zeroes in on that direct relationship between the human operators and the AI systems they're supposed to be commanding. This isn't just about getting new tools. It's about a whole new kind of partnership. And, every partnership has its own friction points and risks. And here is the fundamental trade-off. On one hand, AI offers just incredible speed, which is a massive advantage in any conflict. But on the other hand, every single decision we hand over to a machine is one we're taking away from human judgment, from intuition, and from moral reasoning. The hardest part isn't if we should draw a line, but where do you possibly draw it when lives are on the line? And that just leads to an even deeper problem. Where does assistance end and autonomy actually begin? Is an AI that just scans data and suggests targets simply a really fast assistant? Or does its ability to process more data in a split second than a human could in a lifetime give it a kind of decision-making power all its own? I mean, think about it. A system that assists you so perfectly that you never question its advice is, for all practical purposes, already in control. That line gets dangerously blurry fast. And this brings us to the massive question of responsibility. If a decision gets made based on an AI's analysis in a fraction of a second, and it turns out to be horribly wrong, who's accountable? Is it the commander who trusted the system, the programmer who wrote the original code, the company that built the hardware? When cause and effect happen almost instantly, separated by these super complex algorithms, our traditional ideas of accountability just start to fall apart. So let's zoom out. Beyond that immediate human-machine team, this new speed creates a whole host of other challenges. It doesn't just change the battlefield, it changes the entire information environment around it, creating what you could call a new digital fog of war. Just think about this for a second. When events are unfolding at machine speed, how does anyone, a journalist, a diplomat, even a general, verify what's actually true? AI can pump out fake reports and deepfake videos way faster than any fact-checker can possibly debunk them. This creates this thick fog of uncertainty where a simple misunderstanding amplified by that incredible speed could trigger a catastrophic, uncontrolled escalation. The risk is just immense. So when you put all of these pieces together, you've got the immense pressure on human decision makers, you've got the blurry lines of control, and this chaotic digital fog, you arrive at one central, really sobering conclusion. This is the key takeaway from the analysis. And when it says traditional decision-making structures, it means everything, from the chain of command on the ground all the way up to diplomatic channels between countries. See, these systems were all built for a human pace of communication and thinking things through. But if they literally can't keep up anymore, what takes their place? It suggests a pretty scary future where things could spiral out of control, not out of malice, but simply because our systems for managing a crisis are just too slow. Now, it's really important to be clear. None of this is just wild speculation. This whole analysis is grounded in publicly available reports and trends you can see happening right now. Our goal isn't to predict the future. It's to cut through all the noise and give you the context to think clearly about where we're headed, all based on information you can find and verify for yourself. So, we're left at a really critical moment. The technology is already here, and it's being integrated faster every day. This isn't a question of if these challenges are going to pop up, but how we're going to prepare to meet them when they do. It really all comes down to this feedback loop, doesn't it? Information starts moving faster, which forces decisions to be made faster, which in turn just accelerates everything else. So this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial question of all. And that is the question we want to leave you with. This isn't just about technology anymore. It's about our ethics, our judgment, and the very nature of human control. The future of conflict, it seems, isn't just about new weapons. It's about a new timeline, a timeline that we may not be ready for. The most important signal here isn't one piece of data, but this fundamental shift. As always, our goal is simply to give you the context to think for yourself. So watch, question, and explore further.